afternoon, and welcome to the Coffee Axis Travel Podcast, where we will take you on a journey through the world of news, culture, gastronomy, lifestyle, and tourism. Here in the central coffee growing region of Colombia. I'm your host, Erin Donaldson, and inviting you to grab a cup of coffee and join me as we explore the intersection of travel and discovery. Get ready to embark on an adventure that will awaken your senses and ignite your passion for exploring the departments of Quindío, Risaralda, and Caldas primarily, although at times we will mention departments like Tolima. There is a section that conforms part of the coffee axis. We will mention the north of Valle de Cauca, and we may even mention the south of Antioquia or the eastern edge of Choco. Although that one not so much. Anyways, let's dive into the rich tapestry of experiences that make up the vibrant world of travel and expat lifestyles. Welcome to the Coffee Access Travel Podcast, where every episode is a passport to a new horizon. And before we get going, has anyone noticed the rain we've been having? Be safe out there. In Colombia, rain can be a bit dangerous to your travel plans, unfortunately. You can expect to see a lot of swollen rivers and waterfalls, not to mention those landslides. Landslides, or derrumbes, as they are called here in Colombia. Derrumbes. Repeat. It's an easy word, right? Derrumbes, with the double R there. They are pretty common, especially in the north of Caldas. So if you are planning to travel this weekend to Salamina or San Felix, be very aware of the weather before you leave. With any luck, we'll get some nice, warm, and sunny weather. But I do encourage you to make sure you pack extra water and have a emergency contact who knows where you're going, because especially between Aranzazu and Salamina, there's a couple areas that are unpaved and that tend to get landslides and even um, rocks and branches that will come down over the road. So just take your time, check the weather before you leave, and be very safe out there in your travels. And of course, the weather, much of it is coming from currently, in this moment, Hurricane Beryl. Hurricane Beryl is actually moving north through the Caribbean, but here in central Colombia, you may see some of the effects, which will result in, you guessed it, more rain. In news today, we have the military update. This is an update that comes out periodically via one of my press groups that I'm a member of, called Prensa de Manizales, and it comes directly from Batallón Ayacucho, and it will give you an idea of what's going on. This will help you to see recent activities by the Colombian military. Unlike most of our home countries, the Army here has a lot of involvement in domestic issues, especially the ones that relate to the leftover traces of the armed conflict, criminal activities such as drug manufacturing, smuggling, extortion, kidnapping, and even the environment. So let's jump in and get started. Infantry Battalion number 22 captured 3 people in Supia Caldas. One of them, called Aleman, is presumed to be the leader of a group called GDCO, the Clan. The Bell Artillery Battalion is present in Pueblo Rico, Risaralda, in the Corregimiento of Santa Cecilia, which beyond there is a known hot zone, so things do happen quite a bit. They are helping to protect Colombian lives through their vigilance. Eje Cafetero Gaula of Risaralda has captured 3 people for extortion rackets who are currently at the disposition of the Attorney General of the nation. The Combat Engineers number 8 Battalion of Guali are investing in the environment by germinating and planting frailejones. Why are frailejones so important? Well, these plants absorb water from the passing clouds, which become underwater reservoirs, and lakes, which become rivers and streams that supply the drinking water here in Colombia and much of the coffee region. And of course, you may be thinking, well, in Bogota, we have quite some, large paramo areas. What's the deal with their drinking water issues, which have been reported as of late? Well, my friends, that has to do more with bad management. And of course, keep in mind, Bogota has a massive flower cultivating industry in all these greenhouses that you see when you fly into the airport. Those greenhouses are mainly for cultivating a lot of the flowers that you're going to get on Valentine's Day in countries like the US, Canada, and maybe even Europe. And those do consume quite a lot of water. So the frailejones in Colombia is what helps us collect that water from passing clouds, even if it doesn't rain, and gets it to the people who really need it or want it. Now let's move on. The last segment that you may have seen in the video that I have running as B-roll footage is a segment about Colombian families being invited to participate in Pedal for Your Army. This will be on the 22nd of September of this year. For more information, go to www.pedaleaportuejercito.co. Me say that again, www.pedaleaportuejercito.co. I will have it up here on the screen so you can see how it's spelled and go in there to check it out. When you go to their website, you will see a WhatsApp number listed on the page. Jot it down and send them a message to indicate your interest. And now it's time to move on to our next segment, which is culture. Culture. It is part of our mission to help connect foreign residents with the language and culture of Colombia. And like a baby, we have to crawl before we walk. So this week, we are going to bring you one of the basic building blocks that will help you to get a grip on life in Colombia. And the question we will ask you is to be or not to be? Are you committed or are you just a passing fad? That's my question to you. So let's talk about ser versus estar, states of being. Here on the screen, you should see a card up at this point which says ser. Ser is used to talk about permanent or inherent characteristics of a person or thing. It is used to indicate identity, profession, nationality, and physical appearance. Here are some examples. Soy estudiante. Ella es mexicana. El coche es rojo. Let's go back through that again, okay? Soy estudiante. I am a student. Ella es mexicana. She is Mexican. Yo soy americana. I am American. El coche es rojo. The car is red. Did you get that? El coche es rojo. These are all permanent states of being. Now, estar. Estar is used to talk about temporary states or conditions of a person or thing. It is used to indicate location, health, emotions, and conditions that change. Here are some examples. Estoy en casa. Estás enfermo. Estamos felices. Okay, let's go through that again. We'll go through it a little bit slower. Listen carefully, repeat, make a note if you like. Estoy en casa. I am at home, or I am in my house. Estás enfermo. You are sick. Estamos felices. Aquí en Colombia. Estamos super felices aquí en el eje cafetero. We are happy. Right? At least you'll feel happier now that you have a little bit of a better idea on how to use ser versus estar. So let's sum it up. In summary, ser is used for permanent characteristics and identity, while estar is used for temporary states and conditions. Remember that mastering the usage of ser and estar does take a lot of practice, so don't be discouraged if you make mistakes at first. Keep practicing, you'll get the hang of it. And remember, I'm not a Spanish teacher. Feel free to correct me if I mispronounce or if I say it wrong. These are just cultural guidelines to help you find that integration that you deserve and help you have the best life possible here in a region that is so beautiful, so abundant, so full of wonderful people. Worth it, right? Now let's move on to tourism. This week in tourism, we're going to talk about Marsella Risaralda. Marsella is located in the department of Risaralda, which conforms the sector of the coffee axis where Pereira is. You've seen Pereira, right? It's the capital of the coffee axis. It's the biggest airport, and Marsella is only about an hour and a half, maximum 2 hours in car. It'll take you about the same amount of time to get to Salento, but it's a little bit more unique. So, Marsella is a hidden gem in Colombia that is sure to enchant and delight you with its unique attractions and vibrant culture. Let's take a quick 10-minute journey through this charming town, starting with the Casa de Cultura. Have you seen it? It's quite big, it's quite beautiful, and of course, you can't miss it right there at the corner of the plaza. The Casa de Cultura in Marsella is a cultural hub that showcases the town's rich history and traditions in a museum like format. It'll take you about an hour to 2 hours to walk through there. You can immerse yourself in the local art scene, attend specially scheduled workshops and events, and of course, learn about the fascinating heritage of the region. From traditional music and dance performances to art exhibitions and a library section, the Casa de Cultura is a must visit for anyone looking to experience the true essence of Marsella. Next up, let's explore Marseille's unique cemetery. Yes, you read that right. A cemetery that is not only a final resting place but also a work of art, architectural art, that is. The cemetery in Marsella is known for its elaborate garden, structural architecture, and mausoleums, each telling a story of the deceased and their legacy. Take a stroll through the peaceful grounds and marvel at the intricate designs and beautiful architecture that make this cemetery a truly unforgettable experience. The cemetery, keep in mind it's a few minutes off the plaza. It can take about 10 to 20 minutes to get there walking, or you can just grab a taxi and it'll be just the minimum cost of a taxi to get there. Let's turn our attention to Marseille's colonial architecture. Much like Salento, but prettier, the town is dotted with these charming colonial buildings that date back to the 18th century, giving it a timeless and romantic feel. Wander through the most beautiful plaza in Risaralda, admire the colorful facades, ornate balconies, and intricate detailing that showcase the town's rich history and architectural heritage. Don't forget to snap a few photos to capture the beauty of Marseille's colonial charm. Also, the last time I was there, there is this restaurant on the left side of the plaza when you're facing the church on the second floor balcony. We found it to be quite tasty and it had a nice view of the plaza on top of it. It is not uncommon to see girls go to Marsella for their quinceañeras or their 15th birthday. It is a very popular photography destination for wedding and quinceañera photography. I bet you didn't know that, or maybe you did. Last but certainly not least, let's visit the Botanical Garden in Marsella. This lush and tranquil oasis is a paradise for nature lovers, featuring a diverse collection of native and exotic plants, flowers, and trees. Take a leisurely stroll through the garden, breathe in the fresh air, and marvel at the beauty of the flora that surrounds you. The Botanical Garden of Marsella, or the Jardín Botánico, is a perfect place to relax, unwind, and connect with the natural world while exploring the biodiversity of this region. Particular to this garden, you will see orchids. Quite a few different orchids should be on display there. They were the last time. And some arturios. I can't remember the name in English, but they're like that leaf that has a little pistil coming out of the center and comes in all different colors. I do remember that the Botanic Garden in Marsella has a wonderful collection of those. So, in just 10 minutes, we barely scratched the surface of all that Marsella Risaralda has to offer. From the Casa de Cultura to the unique cemetery, colonial architecture, and botanic garden, this town is a treasure trove of culture, history, and natural beauty waiting to be discovered. So pack your bags, grab your camera, and get ready to be amazed by the wonders of Marsella. If you are looking to take a bus to Marsella, you can go to the Terminal de Transportes and ask for the sign that says Marsella that will be there above the offices in the terminal. Marsella buses will be on the lower part of the Pereira terminal because they are going to the west. The upper part are for buses that are going to the east or to the south. Just keep that in mind as a reference. So for Marsella, it will be on the lower part to the right when you walk in through the main entrance. If you are going by private car, you are going to go towards the airport and head off on the turnoff for Cumbia. Keep in mind, if you are driving in a car, it does not have the same landslide issues that they had in the past. In fact, that segment of road has been very nicely repaired and patched up with an extensive earth retaining structure that is helping to prevent the worst of what once was a major landslide area. Also, if you're going by motorcycle, be sure to stop and check out the wonderful views. Especially if you're riding on the back, you'll see great big views of the valley of Pereira. Bring your camera. I can't reinforce that or reiterate that enough because it's a wonderful pueblo to visit. And if you are catching a bus from Plaza de Victoria on the Parque Elijah side of Plaza Victoria is where the bus will should go past to go to Marsella. I don't think there's any jeeps that go there, but definitely the buses do go past there, I believe. If you have any doubts, just go down to the terminal. So pack your bags, run off to adventure, and be sure to let us know. Be sure to leave us a comment at the bottom letting us know what you thought of your trip to Marsella. Were our tips helpful? And that's it for today. The Coffee Axis Travel Podcast is your source for news, lifestyle, culture, and tourism information about this region. If you enjoyed our podcast, be sure to subscribe via patreon.com/ coffee access travel / where you will get updates anytime a new episode comes out for no more than the cost of a cup of coffee. Your support means a lot to us. We are very grateful for it. We are especially grateful for all the people who believe in us, who are subscribed at this time. Thank you from the depths of our heart. And if you're unsure, feel free to reach out to me at coffeeaccesstravel@gmail.com. If you own a local business that is of interest to local foreign residents and visitors, send us an email at coffeeaccesstravel@gmail.com to learn how you can sponsor our episodes. These are episodes that are going to be reaching foreign residents throughout the Coffee Axis and in other parts of Colombia. It is our goal to help people connect with the local environment, the local news, the things that are going on that you need to know prior to travel or as you decide to come here and live or maybe just visit temporarily. Until next week, my name is Erin Donaldson, your host, signing off.